Have your insurance premiums gone up?
I play ping pong with insurance.
Oh, well, you're a frogger? You just jump around?
Well, the stupid is, it's like telcos, right? Insurance companies, they will give you a price that's attractive to get you.
Yep.
And then when they've got you, they just jack the price up.
Yep.
And so, like our cars, for example.
Yep.
You know, and pretty much like I shop around a little bit, but you know, without advertising anybody's insurance here.
But do you know what you're buying though?
In the policy?
Yeah. Do you understand it?
No, I don't read that. No.
Right. Okay.
I lose my will to live when they go into the fine print.
Yeah.
So is that where you get into the fine print?
Well, not so much into the fine print, but I believe that, when you're looking at insurance policies, there are the good ones, the average ones, and the bad ones. And I think sometimes what you pay is what you get, because I had an incident here at home.
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
You mean home insurance?
Yeah, my home insurance, even with the cars, but my home insurance. Do you remember the Melbourne storms that we had? Was it a year ago?
Yeah.
Severe.
Yeah.
And my house is pretty new. It's only like five or 6 years old. The thunderstorms were so severe. I had some damage in my ensuite. So, I had water leaks and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, the insurer challenged me that apparently my roof wasn't up to building regulation standards. I started playing funny games with me, but I sorted them out pretty quickly. And they came and rectified everything, and my insurance premium came in October this year. And you know how insurers now in the top right-hand corner, they describe how much it's gone up by?
Yes.
64.5% up. Cop that.
Yep. Do you know how all that works?
No.
So I learnt this recently, and this is part of a horrific story. So these fires in LA and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so part of the reason, I don't know if you've been following it at all, but a lot of these homes don't have insurance.
Because they're not covered for an event like fire?
Yes.
Because the insurer doesn't want to take on that risk?
No.
Oh.
So, and I'm probably pivoting away from what you're
that's right.
talking about here, bro. But it sort of explains why insurance premiums go up. So over there, and I'm going to talk very layman's terms here, so there's a lot more details in this, right? But they have this catastrophe index measurement, right? And so hypothetically, if something is that, in their opinion, however they measure it, it's once in 1,000 years something might happen, like a critical event, like a bushfire of that nature, then it's 1 in 1,000 divided by those homes. And if your home's worth $1 million, then it's effectively 1% of $1 million is the cost of your insurance.
Oh,
right. Over there, what happened was, over there, the system they put in place, and I'm not sure if it's a national government thing or it's the local government. I'm not sure which government does this, but over there they put a number of policies in place where insurance companies, it wasn't a free market, and so because the region, they didn't do the brush cutting, to make it less fire, make it more safety for fires, because they took all the water away, they weren't letting the water flow and whatever.
So the insurer is aware of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's their business, right? That's their core business, right?
Get that.
And so for that whole area, it went from something like 1 in 1,000 risk to 1 in 200 risk.
Oh.
And so the premiums, if based on 1 on 200, is vastly different than 1 on 1,000.
Well, of course,
but because of the region, what they did is because if you had insurance premiums of that level, what do you reckon would happen to the property prices there? They would not rise to the degree they've been rising over there, right? So they had this legislation put in through there where it was regulated. You could only charge a certain amount for insurance,
right?
And it was, I don't know if it was a percentage or a dollar amount, I'm not sure. But so because this catastrophe index had pivoted adversely for the homeowners in that region,
right?
And the local government or national government put in this price ceiling on it, the insurers either pulled out, said, no, we're not insuring anymore, or in broad things took out, you're not insured for fires.
So everything else that they're covered for, but not for fire?
Well, I'm not sure on all the details, but correlating it back to your experience
Hang on, just let me sit on that because I need to understand this. So where the fires happened in LA, my
Yeah.
understanding is these are the premium AAA grade homes. Is that the way I understand? Because a lot of movie
Yeah,
stars.
yeah, it's all like Malibu, and
Yeah,
I
and
don't
all
know
the-
the area
yeah,
very
no, I
well,
mean,
but
I don't
it's
know
all
it either.
high-end stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's right on, I think it's
Beachfront?
beachfront / mountains,
Right.
And so
So it's a premium area.
it's a premium area and whatnot, but for whatever reason, it's quasi natural disaster. To get winds of that degree to cause that devastation is not it doesn't happen every week type.
So
stuff.
no one's covered.
I don't know about nobody, but a lot of people are not covered.
So we're talking now.
So like Mel Gibson was,
Yeah,
was on thing. He said, "My house, I'm not covered."
So we're talking 5, 10, 15, $20 million home.
Yeah, overall, they estimate it's about $50 to $60 billion of not uncovered issues.
Wow.
And so where do you think it's going to come from to fix that?
Yeah, of course.
The government.
Yeah, of course.
Taxpayers are going to help support that.
Yeah, of
not
course.
everybody there is a rich movie star that can
Yeah.
just afford to pay for another one, right? And so it's going to come from taxpayers. But just coming back to the correlator to you here, when an event like that happens, their catastrophe index changes.
Right.
And because they would operate here the same they would operate over there. Insurers. They're all about measuring risk, and your
Right.
insurance premiums are based on risk. Hence why, if you're an 18-year-old driving a V8, your
Yeah.
insurance premiums are off the chart because they
Yeah.
know you're going to be a
I
smart
understand
ass on
that.
the road, right?
I understand
as compared
that.
to old man like you
Yeah.
driving a car very slowly, right?
Hence why I never get booked now.
And so, from a housing point of view, when there's a catastrophe, then it's like a stock chart go whoosh. Everybody's buying it, so the risk is increased, volatility is up, and premiums go up.
Wow.
But what's the one that I get shitty with? Like that one, I sort of understand because they got it. That like if they're fixing your house, they're fixing a lot of houses.
Yes.
I don't think you'd be just the one.
No,
because you wouldn't get that level of increase if it was just your house, right?
Yes, I agree with that.
So if you just had a tree fall on your house and you had to fix the roof and whatnot.
No, but they said that they paid out $32,000, if my memory serves me right, to get all the repairs done, which was fine. I did expect
For your house?
for my house.
Yeah.
So I did
spread that over 1,000 homes.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
It's just all I'm saying is just not just your, like I couldn't imagine just be
No,
your house
no,
for those storms that we had.
No, because when I jumped on the phone, because I started ringing around and started getting other quotes, you have to disclose what's happened, or else you're never going to get insurance again.
Yeah.
Or if you do get insurance, they're not going to pay out because of disclosure.
Yeah.
I just found that the competitors were not that far off. Thankfully, I did find an insurer, which I'm not going to name, but
You can tell me off the grid later.
Yeah, I can. The policy's shit. I know it. I just went for price, but the policy's shit. That's why I said to you, do you understand what policy you've bought? Well, like even with the cars, I mean,
No. To be honest with you, no, I don't.
Yeah, but you have
I look
to.
at for price. I look at the excess you pay.
Yeah.
Is it new for old or is it agreed value?
Yes.
Those sort of things. They're the only things I look at.
Right.
All the fine print, I couldn't give a flying
Yeah.
rat's nickel about it.
Yeah. Because
in this day and age, in AI, what I would just do is just whack it in there.
on
And
the-
is there anything in here as a customer that I should be worried about? You can't change it.
No.
You're not going to get them to change their fine print.
No. Because I actually
and-
approached insurance brokers and I said, look, I've chosen this insurer. I've asked 2 different insurance brokers. They've been in industry for many, many years.
Yeah.
Large practices, and this is all they do. And they said to me, Harry, the insurance that you chose is the worst of the worst of the worst, which I kind of knew because what I paid in premium was like 50 to 60% cheaper than what its competitors were charging
God.
me.
So you're not insured for anything.
Oh, no, I am insured. But
What for? What's excluded?
I think just everything. I've just got insurance. But look, it's getting. Look, even with the cars, the agreed value came down on my little car. It came down $35,000,
But the premium went up.
and the premium went up.
Yeah. So
And the
how-
agreed value
what's the
came down.
logic on that?
No, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So the car, I don't swap house insurance that much because I don't.
Oh, neither do I.
don't find they fluctuate that much.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
swapping, but cars swap. I swap every year.
Right.
So I go from one.
Agreed value?
And,
Because that's a big difference.
Yeah, agreed value. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, agreed value.
Because I struggled to.
Well, if it's a new car, because as you know, I swap cars a lot.
Yeah.
So if it's a new car, then it's new for old.
No, I kind
in
of get
the first
that.
12 months,
Yeah,
and
I
then it
kinda
goes to agreed, right?
Yeah.
But I always get agreed, and I make sure the number of the agreed is,
It's pretty much
where I want it
where
to
the
be.
market is, yeah.
Yeah. But so when that first year I go with them, really attractive rates.
Yeah.
Great, fantastic, easy to deal with and whatnot. Then I get my renewal, and it goes up stupid.
Yeah,
So
substantially.
then
Yeah.
I go to their main competitor, and I say, I want to come back. What can you do for me and whatnot? And I would encourage people actually get on the phone and talk to these insurance companies when you want your premium.
I agree.
Thing, rather than doing it online and all the cookies
No,
and all that sort
no.
of stuff.
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
They know about your search history. They know all the things. I'm sure they already know what one company's charging me as compared
But
to.
sometimes, Mark, depending on the motor vehicle that you've got, you can't even do it online. Because I know with both of my cars, they said, please ring the insurer. So I couldn't even do it
Yeah.
online. What I found with insurers that if you give them the home, the cars, everything, there'll be a bit of a discount, but you got to shop around.
You've got to shop around. And so I just swap from one to the other. So the second company gives me a good deal in the second year. Then the third year, they jack it up.
Yeah, so you go back
So then
in.
I go back to these guys and they say, yeah, welcome back and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we can do this for you. And so I just play ping pong.
How about your health insurance? Apparently, I'm covered for pregnancy. Yeah. So I've got this was it Bupa Gold Standard, whatever it is, and I'm trying to adjust my premiums.
Is there something you need to tell me?
No. Look, I'll tell you what. If I'm covered for pregnancy, I must be doing well. But so I took that off. So someone said to me, "No, you're paying for pregnancy. Don't be stupid." So I called them. It's taken me half an hour on the phone to understand all the medical terms and terminology. And I said, okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm not covered for pregnancy for obvious reasons. And on a quarterly basis, my saving was $13. It's just like, really? Only $13? I could have been trading and $13. Oh,
You should
man.
bring him back and say, it's a boy.
Premium goes up. Look, it's just a funny world with insurance, but they're all going up.
Yeah, health insurance I have because I have children, and so you always want that
I have to have
optionality
it.
for that. But I'm not health insurance is more for elective.
No, but
If you have something really serious, you
Yeah.
actually get treated better in public than you do in private.
yeah, I know I need to have it. I've got a chronic back pain. I've had it for years.
But that's elective, right?
Yeah, it is.
But
No, I have
but
to
if
have
you
it.
if you I don't know, heaven forbid, have some life-threatening thing and whatnot, you get treated better in public.
Is that your opinion?
Well, having operated in that space for 15 years, you get treated better in public.
Can we talk about that? Because now you've got me going. Why?
Because it's not a for-profit. It's like they've still got to justify what they do, but it's the levels of care at that level.
Yeah.
Not for elective surgery.
So
elective surgery just go on waiting lists.
Yeah. So you're talking about critical now.
Yeah, critical.
No, I can't understand that.
And if you think about how many times you tap into your health insurance, most of the time it's for life-threatening events and critical
Yeah.
events and this sort of stuff. It's not for hip replacements.
No.
That's what the private health insurance is good. If you want a hip replacement,
Yeah, you get it done straight away as opposed to waiting a couple of years.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that stuff it's good for. And for young children, I don't want to. Any of my kids waiting on a waiting list for something
True.
when they can get it done quickly. So that's why I pay for it. But
And you're also
they make out like a bandit, mate. Like
Yeah.
the amount of times we tap into our health insurance compared to
Hardly.
what we pay.
yeah, it's just ridiculous.
And we get all the extras as well. So the chiropractor here and the physio
Yeah, yeah,
there and
yeah,
the osteo here and that sort of stuff. But it's all got caps on it.
yeah.
But they make out like bandits. It's expensive. But it's one of those things. I sleep better at night by making sure my family's all good.
Oh, 100%.
Whether they're milking me or not milking me. So be
Yeah,
it.
no, and I think it still stands that if you earn an amount of income, if you go over the threshold that you don't have health insurance, the tax man's going to grab more tax out of your salary, so you might as well have it.
Yeah.
Is it
Just
threshold?
another tax.
Yeah, is it 125,000? I can't remember. Is it 125,000?
I'm not sure.
It used to be about 125,000.
It's one of those. It's in those boxes where if I can't control it, I don't give a shit about it.
Yeah, just move on.
I just worry about the things I can't control.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it just does your head in. Then you'll start.
Even travel insurance, because I have to disclose my back with my chronic back pain. Premium's usually $420 for about 6 weeks. I'm paying $1,800 to $2,000. I
You're
just
high risk.
Yeah, I just can't take the chance. So
Yeah.
It's expensive. But what do you do? I mean, our whole lives are,
It's tax deductible, right?
Why?
Well, you've got your activities over there.
I know, mate. Well, let's not get into that. But let's not get. I wish it was tax deductible, but just amazing. Yeah. No, our life's filled with expenses. But you move on. I mean, you just got to see past that.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's just one of those life's things that, you sleep better at night. You have it, and you don't worry about it. And at some point, you stop.
So, are you saying to me now, insurers being covered, that catastrophe index that you've just told me, so their premiums are sky high now?
In LA, if they were allowed to charge the free market based on their catastrophe index, and I'm just using rough numbers.
I understand that.
If an insurance policy was $500, it should have been $2,000.
Yeah,
something like that, right?
Yeah.
And because the regulation said you can only charge $500, then they had to take things out of it to cover to keep the dollar value. So the regulation wasn't $500 and you have to have everything in it. It was this price cap.
Right.
And so you either pull out, which a number of them did. A number of the insurers pulled out.
Yeah.
The community there or the locals there or whatever, they created their own insurance co-op.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's like a co-op.
Yeah, like a co-op.
Okay.
But now these policies that they have, there's no money there to cover that catastrophic event. So they wasted their money on that insurance policy because there's no financial backing to support a $50 billion fix.
Catastrophe. Have you ever been to LA?
No. I went
America?
to LA Airport.
LA
Airport, but I never went to like where these fires were. No.
Right. So what did you? I mean, I've been to America a couple of times. I remember my first time. I was so excited. I was look, how old was I?
I liked America.
Did you?
Yeah. So Los Angeles was great.
Oh, you like Los Angeles?
Yeah,
I was so disappointed.
Yeah, and I liked Los Angeles. And then I went to Columbus, Ohio, and I went to Alabama. Vastly different parts of America.
Right.
But really, really good experiences, bad experiences, but good fun. I really liked it.
Look, I remember when I first went to LA. In fact, I love New York. I don't think New York is America. It's just fantastic. Everything goes 24/7. I had this vision. You know how you watch the Tom Cruise movies and...
You mean Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible, or he's going down Rodeo Drive with the palm trees and, with all the big brands, and you think, geez, the whole of Los Angeles is like that. The opposite's true. I found that the airport was old, the roads were old, the cars were old. I mean, surely Rodeo Drive is nice. It's only a strip, it's at 150 metres.
Yeah.
Big deal. But no, I was quite disappointed with Los Angeles.
But I like the people. The people are really
people
friendly.
are polite.
They love Australians.
They do.
And the places I went, I can't speak for all of America, but the places I went,
they're very polite.
Yeah, and they were very hospitable. Like
they are.
Buying you drinks. Yeah. Come and join us over here. Tell us about what you do, where you're from. Keep talking because we like your accent.
What about the tipping? Did you have to do a lot of that?
Yeah.
That's part of it.
And that's okay because the food's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it is actually. No, it is. No,
not like here. Here we get gouged.
Oh, big time.
And I went to a restaurant on Monday and I had the most, I'm not going to name the restaurant, but I had a magnificent steak.
Yeah.
Because I love steak blue.
Yeah.
And it was magnificent. But if I told you the price of the steak, mate, it was $80 for a steak.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Like no cow's worth that much.
Ridiculous.
But it was beautiful and I wanted it and so I had it.
Yeah.
But it's not something you can do often. You do it because I'm not going to keep paying $80 for a piece of steak. And it was only 200 grams. Like it wasn't as if it was.
It wasn't a big deal.
A half a kilo one that you share with somebody. It was a 200 grammer.
Yeah. I wonder if that $80 steak, how much it was a couple of years ago. I just wonder.
40.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Doubled?
40.
Jeez, that's expensive.